Hello internet. So for today's video, it is heavily, I didn't steal this idea from Elle S here on YouTube. She is Shadow Smoked on Twitter and Instagram. I'll have all of her social media down below. But what she's done a few times on her channel are these palette mock-ups. What she does with these palette mock-ups is she'll take an existing eyeshadow palette and either configure or add new shades to it to make the palette better, or sometimes she'll basically be doing free like marketing or eyeshadow palette ideas for companies. Just be like, hey, this is kind of how I see your brand. Here's a palette that I think would be really cool for you to check out. And so I completely love the idea of doing these palette mock-ups, so I have done my own palette mock-up today. So we're going to be taking over the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. So if you're interested to see what I came up with, then let's keep rolling. So for my first palette mock-up, I chose to redo the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. And my inspiration for redoing the Soft Glam is because so many people, myself included, have called it the Soft Glam palette. Like that C and the G, they are just so close together. And I've seen so many people call it Soft Glam palette on accident, and I think it's hilarious. So for this palette mock-up, also keep in mind it's my first one, I didn't actually change out that many shades. What I mostly did was kind of move some shades around to how I think it would look better. So for my Soft Clam palette was literally a clam. So the OG palette already had a lot of those warm sandy tones that you would expect to see from a clam. And so I wanted to keep a lot of them, but just starting with, okay, so just for reference, I'm going to have the OG Glam palette right here, and then I'm going to have my Soft Clam mock-up right here. My phone has all of my pictures of the palette, even though I did do it on the computer. I'm using my computer as a monitor. So starting at the top left, we're just going to go straight down the line. We first have Burnt Orange. It was down in the center bottom row. I just didn't like where it was, but I still felt like it was pretty important to have in a palette, so I moved it up there. Next we have the Mirror, which is a metallic pearl by Anastasia. This is in the Modern Renaissance palette, I know, but it's just a beautiful inner corner highlight that kind of has like this pearlized finish once you put it on the eyes. So I did want to add it to here, because why not? Burnt Orange is actually also in Modern Renaissance. But keep going. I did try to use as many like ABH shadows as I possibly could, because I wanted on ABH to be able to look at this palette and be like, you know what? We actually already have these similar colors. So it's kind of like I want to be able to say to ABH, you already have the colors you need to make this more humorous Soft Clam palette. So what is supposed to be Orange Soda, I replaced that with another ABH shadow, which is Venice, and that's a duochrome turquoise. Usually when we think of clams, we kind of think of the water, think of shimmer, so that's where Venice goes in. After that, we have Rose Pink. Rose Pink isn't original to the palette. I just left that where it was. Next to it is ABH, the ABH shadow, Golden Copper, which is a metallic sunset bronze. The Golden Copper shadow, I really wanted this in the palette just to kind of be like reminiscent of like the glittery sand on a beach at sunset. And also you have to have like kind of a mid-range shimmer bronzy color in an ABH palette, so I did really enjoy that one. Bronze is the original in the palette, I kept that same way. And then lastly on the line, it is actually a eyeshadow by Sydney Grace, an indie brand that I'm dying to try, and that is called Nightfall, and it is a matte blue. If you look at pearls like on Google Images, there's kind of like lines of deep rich blues. And I'd probably prefer if Nightfall was like a little bit darker, like closer to a navy, but the color itself is just so nice and pretty, and I wanted it to be able to be more versatile in the entirety of the palette, so that's why I chose the Nightfall for there. Going down to the second row, we have Tarte. This is from their Tarteist Pro palette, and that is the shade Bold. Every palette just needs to have a cream base shade. Maybe I should switch that in Burnt Orange, but Tarte Bold. It's a really nice color, and yet if you have darker skin, if you have deeper skin tones, it's not going to be so white that it's unusable on you. You could use that as a transition shade, and then for us pale people, like, it's good for a base. So moving over from the Tarte shadow, we have another ABH shadow. This is called Aqua, which is a light seafoam blue shimmer finish. So it's, again, like, I saw seafoam on ABH's website, and I was just like, yes, a seafoam color in a, like, oceanic clam palette, yes, I need that. So that's just bright pop of mint. I thought that would be really pairing with the Venice duochrome turquoise. You could mix it in with some of the warmer tones in the palette, and then you could even kind of do like a seafoamy green, like rose pink action. That's kind of how I was seeing like these lighter shades. And the standout for me in the remainder of this palette, because actually the last four what is also burnt orange on second row, the last four are actually shadows are already in the palette, but I rearranged them, so I'll explain that a little bit later. But the bottom, but after Aqua is Glass Bowl by ColourPop, which is a duochrome lavender icy blue. This was the I was looking for a shade exactly like this. Unfortunately, Glass Bowl does not seem to do the shadow justice. From when I took this screenshot of the shadow like right from ColourPop's website, like the pan, not like the swatch on somebody's arm, so it really is conveyed more on like a swatch. But this shadow, I was thinking of like, yes, this is the pearl inside the clam. This is something you can layer over mulberry, or you could do kind of a similar but different action with Venice. You could put it on top of rose pink. I just saw this being a versatile shade, adding that shimmer, that sheen of a pearl. That is what I wanted with Glass Bowl. And then lastly we have Sienna, Dusty Rose, Rustic, and Cypress Umber. In the original palette, Sienna and Dusty Rose I think are swapped. I need to actually okay, so where Tarte Bold is actually, that was where, I was wrong. I should have had the original palette looked up. But so where the Tarte Bold shadow is where originally Dusty Rose was. So I just I moved Dusty Rose over, and Sienna is actually exactly in the same place. I did not move Sienna or Rose Pink at all. I thought they were a nice divide between like kind of like the cooler shadows and the warmer shadows in the palette. But my reasoning for putting Dusty Rose where it was, I think, was just because I wanted it to be like almost Rose Pink, Sienna, Dusty Rose. I kind of wanted them to be the transition shades. I can see people using them, which are both mattes, by the way. The Rose Pink I think is a shimmer, but Dusty Rose is matte. I can just really see you using those three shadows like on both sides of the palette, just kind of as like a nice tie-in. Rustic did not, Sienna did not move, Rustic did not move, and then right underneath the Nightfall shadow was Noir, which was the black shadow in the original palette, and I didn't think a black shadow was necessary here. I thought it was just kind of like, you don't, like, black just isn't a color that I thought would be necessary in this palette. So I just moved over Noir, and then I moved Cypress Umber over in its spot. Okay, so that is my Soft Clam Mockup palette. What do you guys think? I know this was my first like palette mock-up, and I have two other ideas like already for other palettes, and I kind of want to do all three of them at the same time, but I was just like, you know what? I have Soft Clam done, so let me just throw it out to you guys. Let me know what you think. If you were to take the Soft Clam inspiration, what would you do different with it? Did I keep too many of the original shadows? Would you have changed more? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, and give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video. If you want to see more palette mock-ups by me, and then also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Cayla Hayes with a Z, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload at least 3 times a week, and I would love to see you stick around and come back. But after all that, that's all we have for today's video, guys, so enjoy!